At-fault divorce, no-fault divorce. Divorce is illegal. What? Divorce is illegal? Who decided that? One country that I'm aware of, the Philippines. Well, that is the only country where divorce for a vast majority of the population is illegal. There is no divorce. This means that if you've been separated for 30 years and you want to get remarried, that might not, in fact, be possible. Just because divorce is illegal does not mean that bigamy or polygamy is somehow legitimate or legal. Imagine if that were the case in the United States, in Florida, in Texas, in California, in Wyoming, in New York, anywhere, frankly. Imagine if instead of no fault divorce or at fault divorce, we simply have no divorce at all. What would that look like? Perhaps people might enter marriage for reasons other than finances, other than brief sexual gratification, other than the excitement of it, other than the thrill of having the wedding of their dreams with no actual thought as to the aftermath and to the future of what might become of that marriage. By having this, some would say, punitive restriction on divorce, and some would say destructive, whereas others would say, wonderful, this is the way it is intended to be. It's supposed to be, obviously. The Philippines government believes that this is appropriate. Other than that, what lessons can we draw from this? So again, suppose that this were in the United States. If divorce were illegal, what would that look like? Let's take a few examples and tease this out. Suppose that a wife routinely beats the ever-living piss out of her husband. No, I am not kidding. This is not a joke, and this is not intended to be even remotely funny. Suppose the wife routinely smacks her husband around, punches him, kicks him, assaults him when she's intoxicated. Suppose that happens, and the husband wants out of that marriage. Even if the husband gets a restraining order, temporary or permanent, in quotation marks, against his wife, if divorce is illegal, then he's stuck with that person. Abusive, horrible, violent, and all. Imagine if one person, let's say a woman, comes home and finds her husband's cell phone. And what does she find in his cell phone? The numbers of prostitutes and financial transactions in his bank account, suggesting that the husband has been paying prostitutes in a variety of ways and has multiple porn subscriptions, including to OnlyFans, specific subscriptions with specific individuals. Well, she wants a divorce. Now there are emotional considerations, social considerations, health considerations. Divorce is illegal. So sad. Too bad. I'm sorry. It's just never going to happen. Imagine a circumstance in which two people have children that are now over 18 years old. These two people already had what we call a sleep divorce. They have nothing in common. Their bank accounts are separate. They do not want to live together. They have no life together. They both have mutually agreed to move on, and they never want to see each other again except at family events. And even then, of course, whether or not they want to see each other is in serious doubt. There is no divorce. There is no divorce. It is illegal. Some people in at-fault divorce states feel this way, as though somehow divorce is illegal because of the burden of proof, because of what must be alleged in order to obtain a divorce. Of course, the other side, if they want to stay married, might seek to disprove those allegations. Does that mean that the case for no-fault divorce is somehow enhanced? Maybe Florida really has it right. You can get a divorce for any reason at all. Irreconcilable differences, irretrievably broken. The standard is not irretrievably broken for both parties. The standard is irretrievably broken. That might mean that two people might have a lawfully intact marriage that's going great. But for some reason, on a whim, somebody does not want to be married anymore. Marriage ended. What lessons can we conclude from all of this? Do the Philippines have it right? Is outlawing marriage entirely the best thing to do? Why can't toxic marriages be ended? Why can't marriages in which one party is violent be ended? Why can't marriages in which one party humiliates their spouse be ended? Every state in the United States has its own separate laws, its own separate legal code. Some states may piggyback on others, they may borrow legal principles. Legal principles may seem to mirror those of other states. Ultimately, if you really want to get married, maybe the ultimate lesson here, maybe the takeaway, the upshot, if you will, is that before you get married, you should be convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt, not a preponderance of feelings or a preponderance of the evidence. Perhaps you should be convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that the person you are marrying is your forever after. And ask yourself, what if that party goes blind? What if my spouse can no longer have sex? What if my spouse becomes disabled? What if my spouse cheats on me? What if I fall in love with somebody else someday? Aren't those questions worth having on the front end to prevent a really nasty back end? Food for thought, ladies and gentlemen.